people that fail to join me or get time zones mixed up, so I'm recording this. That's okay. Tonight, I'm going to give you a lot of information about what a career in real estate looks like if you're considering a career change or thinking about real estate. I want to give you the facts as best as I can give them. This will be about 45 minutes is all. I encourage you, Kimberly, to jump in anytime. Don't feel like you're interrupting me or anything. If you have a question, please ask it of me so I can answer it. And so let me get started here. I'm going to share my screen in just a second here, so you'll be able to see that. And hopefully you can see my screen with the presentation on there. So tonight we're going to talk about real estate just a little bit. So let's get going. This is what a lot of people believe real estate is like. And so I want to make sure I give you all the information that you need to make an informed and smart decision. What I am doing tonight is trying to give you as much information about the business that I can. What I am not doing is trying to recruit you or have anything to sell. I have neither of those things. It's just a meeting to give you as much information as I can. And then if you do decide to get into the real estate world, if I can help you any further, I'd like to help you, or offer at least that I can help you. But this is what a lot of people think real estate is. You get a license and you show houses and look at houses, and it's like riding a bicycle. It's just real easy. You get on your bike, you ride fast, and you get to that checkered flag. What it really is like is this. And you're on a bicycle, but this is what you have to kind of go through to be successful in a career of real estate. So there's a lot of peaks, there's a lot of valleys. And so this is a real look at what real estate license is like. Tonight, my goal is to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. From the old Clint Eastwood movie. Most of what I'm giving you tonight is based from this book that I have in my hand. It's called The 21 Things I Wish My Broker Had Told Me. And I don't think it's necessary for you to purchase the book. It's by someone by the name of Frank Cook, if you do want to buy it. The book is about 22 years old, but everything in here is still the same. With the real estate profession, nothing has changed. Very few things have changed in the last 50 years. There's been some changes just in the last 6 months that are going to affect people that work with buyers, but we don't need to discuss that tonight. And so what does the 2024 real estate market look like? Kimberly, are you in Texas? Where are you at? Are you able to answer me? Are you in Texas?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
Are you in Texas, or where are you located, Kimberly?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay. So I'm not going to focus in what I talk about on Texas, where I'm at, but I want you to get a pretty good idea. You're in Pennsylvania, and so the markets are different everywhere. Right now, people are moving to Texas and Florida. Those are the two places where a lot of people have migrated to. I think Pennsylvania is holding their own. I don't think there's people moving from there and moving to other states that are maybe politically, for a lot of people, more appealing, or weather-wise more appealing, or tax-wise for most people. While I don't know the Pennsylvania market specifically, I know that the market is pretty steady in that area. And so I won't focus on Texas things, but I'm going to give you kind of an idea of what it takes to get a license in Texas, because it's probably not a lot different in Pennsylvania. I've actually been licensed in 3 states. I've been licensed in Iowa, Oregon, and where I'm living now in Texas. But here's the good news. If you decide to go forward to get a real estate license, Kimberly, home prices are climbing. And they're looking to climb in the next 5 years by the statistics that 100 of the top experts in real estate have predicted, they've all gotten together, we've averaged all the numbers, and it looks like real estate in the next 5 years will have an appreciation level of about 17%, which means properties are going to be more expensive, but those people that purchase properties today are going to have a pretty good investment. Their property is going to be worth more in 5 years than it is now. That's always a good sign. You never want to buy at a time where things are deflating. In Texas, this is kind of where our market is, and I'll just put it up here for you to see. Where I'm at in McKinney, Texas, the average price of a home, or the median price, is about $600,000. In Melissa, Texas, which is just 5 miles from me, it's 553. And there's differences. In Dallas, 450, and in Anna, Texas, another small community near me, it's 432. And I can look up Pennsylvania if you would like and get that to you after we're done. Which are you in a major city, Kimberly? Are you in Philadelphia, or whereabouts are you? Harrisburg?
Montgomery County?
Montgomery County. Okay, so when I'm done, I'm going to email you some numbers for Montgomery County, okay? And then that way you'll have an idea and maybe try to put everything together that I'm talking about as far as what the potential for earnings is and so forth and so on, okay? So I'll do that for you. The real estate market is pretty hot everywhere. And the reason that it's pretty hot is because we don't have enough listings. There are plenty of buyers, but there aren't enough listings. A reason that we don't have, or one of the reasons that we don't have enough listings, is because a lot of people who own their properties purchased them at a time where interest rates were very low, around 3 to 4%. Today, they were about 7%. So the new homeowner is going to have to pay higher interest rates. But what happens is those people that have a home that have a lower interest rate are hanging on to their homes because they don't want to have to buy a replacement home unless they just have to move and pay an interest rate twice as much as what they're paying now in interest rates. So the market just doesn't have a big enough supply. When there is a lack of supply, Kimberly, what happens is prices will go up. It's supply and demand. It's like if you wanted to purchase a certain kind of car, there are certain kinds of cars that there's not a lot of them available. So when you go to buy them, they cost a lot more money. But the good news is the market is going to stay steady, especially here in Texas. We're predicting that it's going to climb here and continue to climb. So my goal tonight is to give you a 100% honest look at what a career in real estate is like. I don't have an agenda. This is no recruitment. I'm just going to give you the facts. And as I said, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Here's the thing about real estate is it's completely different than anything else. First of all, you are in control. You shape your own destiny. How much money you can earn depends on you and how hard you want to work. Now, some people get into the business because they like the idea that you can earn a lot of money in real estate. There's no glass ceiling. There's not a man and a woman divide like there is in many places, many jobs where men earn more than women for whatever reason. In real estate is right now made up of about 70% women. Women just do the job better. They're just smarter, is the truth. So in real estate, you work as hard as you want and you can make as much as you want based on how hard and how smart you work. You can build an ideal lifestyle. You can balance work, joy, vacation, and family time. And when I got into real estate 22 years ago, 22 years ago, the reason I got into real estate is because I was in retail. I owned retail music stores. And I worked from 7 to 7, 6 days a week. And my life was controlled by the person unlocking the door and locking it at night. And that was me. And I wanted something where I had more time for my family, more time to do those things that I wanted to. And I found that real estate provided me that pathway to work when and how I work. Now, that doesn't mean that I can sit around and not work. You need to be disciplined. You need to have a calendar of when you're working. Time blocking is one of the things that I use. And so I got into it for the reason many people get into it. You can really work at your own pace and work as hard as you want. If it's approached right, with the right attitude, philosophy, and habits, you can create the time, the space, the flexibility to fuel a life that others, even lawyers and doctors and corporate executives, would drool over. And I think real estate for me has really been a dream job. It's not all fun and games, but it's so much better than working for someone else when you control your own destiny. But to do that, all and above, you must be all in. So is it time in or time out? If you're tired of punching a clock, if you're tired of trading hours for dollars, which most of us do, if you've always dreamed of having your own business, perhaps real estate is that something that you're looking for. In most cases, the person you're doing a fabulous job for every day when you go to work, day in and day out, felt the same at some point. They probably were doing something else where they were trading hours for their time and the money that they earned. And they aren't any smarter than you. They aren't any more talented than you. I am not a 4-point student by any way, or when I was in school 50 years ago. But if you have the element of working hard, you're on your way. They were just a little bit more committed to their vision, and they were willing to take a risk. Getting into real estate is a risk, and I'll explain that as I go on. Their picture was so clear that fear of failure didn't have a chance. So today, many are living their dream. Most made their dream crystal clear, and most chose not to listen to those who said it couldn't be done. One of the things I find when I'm talking to agents considering getting into the business is a lot of doubt is cast upon them, and usually by people that are closest to them, spouses, mothers and fathers, their best friends. There's a lot of doubt that people say, you can't do that. But I assure you, I don't know you, but I assure you that you can. So it depends how you define success. For me, success is never about the money. I've made a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money, but it's never been about the money. My success in my mind's been about finding my purpose in what I do and the passion that I have and the realization of building a sustainable business. That was my success, knowing that I could do something some people said I couldn't do and something that I actually wanted to do. And part of my success and part of most real estate agents that get into the business for the right reasons is about contributing to the life of others, helping those people purchase their first home, purchase their first vacation home, for example. And so there's nothing like handing the keys to somebody who you help purchase a home. There's nothing like it. It's the best drug I've ever found, and I've been around since the 60s. And we all know what went on in the 60s. This is the best drug I've ever found. So if you have the sense of wanting to give and help others, and at the same time have an ideal lifestyle, real estate might be great for you. But here's the truth. There are some major problems that I found. One, it has a fickle future. You're only as good as your last transaction. So in 99% of all real estate companies, you are not paid a salary. There is not a guaranteed check every 2 weeks. It doesn't work that way. You work for free until you get paid from a transaction. So you work with buyers, you work with sellers. If you list homes for sale, you get paid upon the sale and the closing of that transaction. If you're working with a buyer, You show them a property or properties, and when it closes, when the transaction's done, you get paid, but not until then. You basically work for free until that period where a transaction closes. So know that it can be long periods of time if you don't plan your business accordingly for paychecks. That's not the way you want to work, but that's the way most agents end up because they haven't worked hard to build a solid time blocking calendar where they're working every day and they have a plan. Second, there's a lack of instant financial gratification. Kind of goes with what I just said. You don't get paid every 2 weeks. You don't get any pay at all until you close a transaction. So nothing is instant. You get paid only when you perform. Third, it's a present tense business. For real estate agents and traditional real estate companies, when they stop doing business, the income stops. Okay, so you have to build what's called a pipeline. And those are transactions that will close in scheduled times, so you never have a pause or a delay in getting paid. If you do have a problem with setting up that kind of a system, it can be a long time between paychecks. But when you get into the business, hopefully you'll find an office where the training will help you build a sustainable planned income for you. When I work with new agents, I ask them, how much do you need to make and how much do you want to make? So some people come into the business usually coming from another job. This isn't their first rodeo. They're coming from somewhere else, and they sometimes have an apartment, they have a car payment, they have credit cards, they have other stuff. So there's an income they have to make. That's the first thing that I try to help agents tackle, to show them how to get to $40,000 a year, because that's what they need so they don't lose their apartment or lose their home or have their car collected, confiscated, whatever it might be. So it's a present tense business. When you stop, the income stops. So when I go on a vacation, it's totally planned. I know that I'm not going to be able to work during that time. And I know that I have to plan for that. Next, it's an ego-driven business. Listen, there's a lot of big egos out there in every business, but in real estate, there's a lot. And, when you get into the business, a lot of people will look down at you because you're new. You're a brand new agent. But you can break out of that. That it's not difficult. You have to have some tough skin. You have to work hard. But it does have an ego-driven business that part turns me off. Inhibition, if you don't like cold calling or approaching people or talking to people or selling yourself, working hard to establish that you have a good business plan for how to sell properties and so forth. If you have inhibition, if you're really super shy and you just can't talk to people, this may not be the right business for you. Okay, just the truth. There's a lack of a solid fact-based training. That's huge. So if you get a license, you need to hang your license or place your license or be brought in at a company where they have training and systems to support you. It's huge. I've owned 3 real estate companies. I just sold my last company in Bend, Oregon, 2 years ago. And, I had a whole plan for it. And I provided my agents with the training and systems for all of them to be successful. They couldn't help but be successful if they worked. Next, there's a desk fee dilemma. There are some offices which charge you up front every month to be part of their company. You'll want to be careful of that, because you'll walk into an office, it may be a beautiful, stunning office, but to be part of that office, you have to pay exorbitant amounts of money. I never have believed in that. I don't believe you have to pay a lot of money or pay desk fees to belong to a company, and there are ways not to. I could help you with that. Next, it all depends on you. You're in business for yourself. Unfortunately, for some people, you're all by yourself. But if you're with the right company, with the right mentors and the right coaches within a company and the right training, you're not by yourself at all. Okay, so I'll go through the facts very quickly, but just to give you an idea of what the real estate world is like. There's about 1.5 million real estate agents in the business. There are about 100,000 real estate brokerage firms around the United States. The typical realtor is 56 years old, a white female who attended college and is a homeowner. 66% of all realtors are women, and the median age of those agents is 52. The median age experience of realtors is 8 years, which is great news. It's just 8 years. It isn't 20, 30 years. I have 32 years experience, but that's not necessary. The average is 8 years. So there's some growing pains from year 1 to 3 because you're going to be new. You're going to be learning a lot, but the average is 8 years. The median tenure at a firm is 4 years. Agents will move around a lot. I don't recommend it. I recommend that the first office that you go to is the office that you made a smart, logical choice to be at. But in our business, agents will move from place to place. They're just very mobile on where they go. Most agents work about 35 hours a week, and the median gross income of realtors is 54. That means half make more, half make less. Here's the education. Some college, 29%, a bachelor's degree, 31%. Graduate degree, you can see here, associate degree, 14%. Some graduate school, 6%, and high school graduate, 7%. So it fits just about everybody. And people with college diplomas, I have found are no better than those people who have GEDs or a high school education who work hard. That's the key. Most agents work through email, with email. Most prefer to communicate with their clients through email, about 93%. Some have a blog. Social media is huge, as it is everywhere. It's very important in the real estate world. 73% of all realtors use social media, and that number probably is 80%. 48% of real estate firms cited keeping up with technology as the biggest challenge, and it is. Technology is changing all the time. In the last couple of years, we have all this talk about AI, artificial intelligence, and it's coming into our world. It's going to help us. It's not going to hinder us, but it's going to be able to help us do more work in a faster amount of time for a lot less in cost than what people are paying now. This graph just shows all the ways that you can prospect. That's what's nice about real estate. You might work with just buyers. You might work with just sellers. You can have an area that's called farming, maybe the area that's a half a mile around where you live that you focus on. That's called a farm. You can work that area. And you can do it through Facebook and through social media and so many different ways. There are many ways to be successful in real estate. You can do, residential real estate. You can do commercial real estate. You can work in selling condominiums. You can work on selling vacation homes, single family homes, tiny homes. There's all kinds of different areas of real estate that you can find and focus on that you feel will help you the most. I did resort properties, vacation properties for 3 years of my life. I did commercial real estate exclusively for 2 years of my life. But where I was most happy was just general residential real estate. But here's the fact, and here's the truth, Kimberly. 87% of all realtors who get licensed today will be out of the business in 5 years. 87% will fail or leave the business. Now, I don't say that as being a realtor with a lot of pride. It is a stunning fact. But I believe an agent, a new agent, an old agent can beat this statistic by having the right people helping them be successful, being at the right company, having the right state of mind, the right mindset to be successful. So don't let it scare you. The good news is because 87% leave, all the bad ones go. The good ones stay in, which would be you. And so you can be successful when the others fail. But having the right place to go is hugely important. So how can you be one of the 13% who's successful? That's the question. And here's the ways. When you go to an office, if you decide to move forward with this, Kimberly, make sure that that office provides you with one-on-one training to help you specifically with a clear focus for you to be successful in your mission. Secondly, make sure that you ask when you go to a company to interview, which is a process. A lot of people will follow this process. They'll get their education, the real estate education required in their state. They'll take the test, two tests, a state test and a national test. They'll pass a test, and then they'll interview at offices. They might come to me and say, hey, I'm thinking about getting into real estate. I've passed a real estate examination. Tell me, how can you help me? And I always ask them, well, how can you help me? I'll be happy to answer your questions, but one question that you need to ask when you go in for the interview is specifically, not how are you going to help me, specifically, what are you going to do to help me achieve my goal to earn $100,000, $150,000 next year? Tell me, how are we going to do that together? Know when you go into an office that you're really interviewing them more than they're interviewing you. They're just looking for people who are going to work hard and will make them money. Okay? So ask them, ask that question. Do you have one-on-one training? Is there somebody, a mentor? Is someone going to help me be successful? Because it's hard getting started. And specifically, how are you going to help me? Tell me how you help the agency to be successful. And then talk to the agents in that company. Don't focus on how much of a split you get. And by the split, I mean how much you earn from each transaction. That's called the split. In many offices, when you sell a property where there's a $10,000 gross commission, you get 70%, which would be $7,000. Some companies will pay 80%, which is obviously will be more than that, will be $8,000. Some people will pay less, some people will be more, but don't focus on the commission split. Focus on how they're going to help you be successful. Because regardless of an office that pays a 90 split, where on a $10,000 deal, you'd get $9,000. If they haven't provided those basic things that you need to be successful, there's not going to be any commissions to talk about in the first place. So really consider not being all in on commission splits, being all in on the company that is reliable, has a great reputation, is a trusted authority, and has a way to help you. Ask that company, tell me about your technology tools. And Kimberly, this is huge. You need technology tools, and you don't want to be buying them all or figuring out which ones are the best. A great company should have a toolbox. They should have a toolbox that they lay out for you and say, here it is. If you come to our company, you'll get paid this each time you sell a property. And here's all the tools that we provide you. We provide you one-on-one training. We help you get new listings with the technology and the website that we provide you and so forth. Ask if they have a technology expert, someone that can help you with technology, unless you're just a technology guru and you know it all. For me, I've always needed a technology expert to help me. And some companies will provide that and some won't, especially mom and pop stores, just the little companies. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but generally they're underfunded and just can't provide all those things that you need. Ask about the marketing tools, technology tools, and marketing tools, because you need to market yourself. And most companies should be able to make you look like $1 million. make you look like the best agent in the world with the technology tools and the marketing tools that they provide for you. Culture is huge. When you're interviewing an office, look around, talk to the other agents. How do they interact with each other? Are they happy? Are they angry? Are they bold? Are they excited? What kind of place is it? Decide on the environment that you think you're going to be comfortable in, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to go to work. You're just not going to want to be in the office. And that's the place where you learn. Although there's a propensity right now for people to look for things where they don't have to go into an office. Right now, it would be an important time for you to go into the office because that's where you learn. And it's a focused approach where you don't have any interruptions and you work on your business when you're in the office. Ask what kind of agents occupy the office. Are they successful? Are they not? Are they part-time? Are they full-time? Ask if there's a company commitment to giving back. I've always been aligned with a company that has a mission to give back. With a company that I've been at for years, our main commitment has been to Habitat for Humanity, to build homes for people that can't afford to build their own through the program called Habitat for Humanity. Ask if agents help one another. If there's a helping hand where if you're sitting in an office, you can say, hey, Bobby, could you help me for a second? I don't quite understand this. And that Bobby is available to you, not to be with you for hours, but to help you, to be a partner, to be part of the team and so forth. Security and income streams, ask if the company provides you a way to build what's called passive income. Passive income is another income stream that might be available from the company that you go to. There are some companies that provide income streams in trade for you doing other kinds of work in the company, mostly bringing other agents in and getting paid for that. So just ask, do you have a way for me to earn passive income? So here are some musts. When and if you interview offices, ask, how do you stay connected with your agents? I've been in a company where the principal broker, the guy running the company, never called anybody, never checked in on me or any other agents. That's not good. You want somebody that's there for you and there for you when you need them. So how do you stay connected? What leadership traits sets you apart from other brokers? Why would I come here? Why would I come to this office? What do you offer that other brokers might not? What's your vision? What's your mission? What's your why? So I'm not sure what it is in Pennsylvania, but here in Texas, you have, and generally speaking, in most states, you have to be 18 years old. You can't be a little kid that sells real estate. Prerequisites is that you're a U.S. citizen or a lawfully admitted alien. You must pass a fitness determination. And what I mean by fitness determination is that you pass a background check and that you got the required education from an approved real estate school and that you complete, I'm not sure how many hours it is that you have to do in Pennsylvania, but it's probably somewhere around 100 to 150 hours that you need in Pennsylvania.
75.
75? Gosh, that's fabulous. You can knock that off in no time, Kimberly. Here in Texas, it's 180.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah, it's way too much. You have to apply for a license. You have to pass the state and the federal test. This is what it looks like, what you study in the 75 hours. They'll do the same basic kinds of study, only less time on everything, okay? Principles of real estate finance, the forms that you have to use, the law of agency, the law of contracts. So most companies will require you to belong to the National Association of Realtors, our national organization, NAR. And it's just part of what every company requires because NAR is really holds us all together, being agents. To be associated with the real estate firm and have access to the MLS, you're going to be, the MLS is a place where all the listings are at. You're going to have to be a member of the local MLS and probably NAR. Now, here's the cost to be a real estate agent in Texas. So maybe you already know, it's 75 hours. But what I have told people is it generally will cost between $1,200 and $2,000 to get fully licensed, to get ready to go, to have everything you need to join all the professional organizations you need to belong to and be ready to sell real estate. So you'll have to look that up in your state or another real estate agent. I'll try to get a little bit more information for you, Kimberly, on that, because I have access to that kind of stuff. Okay, so there's a monthly fee to be on the MLS. So it's ongoing fee. It's a license fee. There's activation fees. There's what you're going to need, the key box or the key box on your phone, the entry key to get in to show listings. It's all on my phone. I can get into properties with using this because I subscribe to a place. More education. This is Texas. I'm going to skip it. So various office fees can be monthly desk fees, transaction fees, text services, franchise fees, flyers, printing, education, virtual. I want you just to know these. I want you to be aware of these, and I'll send you a copy of this recorded so you can review this. But when you go into the office, I want you to have your eyes wide open so you know what you're getting into. Okay? So ask a principal broker if they're a competitive broker. If it's a small office, you don't want the owner broker to be competing against you because you don't want the phone to ring and one person controlling all the phone calls that come in. And in a lot of smaller offices, the broker, the owner of the office answers the phone, and guess what? Somebody says, hey, I'm looking to buy a home. You'll never see it. So you want to make sure that there's a fair system for how leads are distributed. Okay, make sure they have a lead system. Considering interviewing agents even before you get your license. And the way that works is to just go into an office, knock on the door, and saying, I'm Kimberly. I'm going to get my real estate license, and I'm interviewing companies in advance of doing that to see if you're the right company. So when I do pass my test, I'm ready to go if you're the right company. Consider doing that. Some of the best agents I ever had came to me, and I provided them with education before they ever passed a real estate examination. I invited them to come to all of our office meetings, and when they got their license, after they did in Oregon, it was 120 hours. In Oregon, they already had all kinds of education that I provided to them. So ask if they have good systems and can help you. Now, I'm not going to talk about exit because I promised you this was not about exit, but I just want to give you an example. At exit, there's a system called sponsoring, where Kimberly, if you came into the company and you loved it, and somebody said, you know, Kimberly, I see that you're really doing well. Tell me about what you're doing. If you talk to that person and simply introduce them to the broker owner of the company, if they come with the company, you will get paid for that each time they sell a property. Okay, so if you choose to do it, you don't have to. For me, I've sponsored in agents, so even now I get an average of about $17,000 a year just from the sponsorships from people I brought into the company who are continuing to sell properties. So Exit has a system like that. I know Keller Williams has kind of a profit sharing model. I don't like it, but that's the truth. They do have one. And so be aware of what companies are offering. This is called passive income. This is what I was kind of talking about. So at Exit, it's about building financial security, because what I was looking for is, okay, when I do retire, is there going to be any income? I'm not going to be selling properties anymore. So how am I going to, other than Social Security and savings, is there any money there? And there is with some companies by sponsoring or other passive income that they offer. So at Exit, we talk about training, branding, technology, culture, sponsoring. And again, I wasn't talking about that. Now, tonight, if you haven't started your education, Kimberly, if you go through a company using this little thing at the bottom, the HTTP, my website, to get into the site, from the CE shop, I'm not trying to hurry you into anything, but if you did it tonight, actually tomorrow, they have a special offer right now. If you use this link, and again, I'm going to send you a copy of this recording. If you use this link, you'll get 40% off what they'd normally charge for someone to get a license. Not a bad deal. So I would look into that if that's something you want to do. Again, you'll have a copy of this. There's a promo code. And even if you don't do it by the 31st when this offer's up, I think it goes to 30%. You just let me know if you want to take advantage of that. Use my link to go to the website and you'll get a discount for that. Now, if you want to know something about Exit or just know about the business in general, write this text down. If you text Achiever, just the word Achiever, to the number 85377, you'll get a copy of what's called the Exit Achiever. And it's a magazine about everything real estate, okay? It's a fun magazine to read and give you a better idea of what Exit's about, what real estate companies are about, and let you see inside one company to see if maybe that might be the right company for you. So I'm at right about 45 minutes. So I want to answer any question that you have, Kimberly. What might I have? Go ahead.
Yes, I have a question about the passive income.
Okay.
You said something about sponsorship.
Yes.
Bringing in people.
Yes. So first, that's something Exit, the franchise Exit Realty, offers to all of the agents in their company. So if you go to Exit and you're part of the Exit company in your community, if you have one, and I can look that up as well. If you go to that company, you can be in the company and you can sponsor people into the company. Sponsoring means you make an introduction. It's not about selling anything. This isn't about going out and selling Kirby vacuum cleaners or anything like that. It's simply making an introduction. So the example I use, Kimberly, is like if you have a friend, Sue, and Sue says to you, you know, I've thought about real estate. Tell me about your company. And you can say, well, listen, let me tell you about my company. Let's have lunch and I'll make an introduction to my broker and he or she can tell you more. If they come into the company, if that agent comes into the company because of you, each time they sell a transaction, you get paid 10% of that. Now, that doesn't come off of their commission. It really comes from the broker owner. So there's no penalty to her. There's no penalty to you. And so I can tell you, this may seem like I'm making it up, but I'm not. Over the last 16 years that I've been part of Exit, I've earned $404,000 in residual income. That's just getting the 10% from the people that I sponsored in. Okay. When you retire, it goes from 10% off every transaction to 7%, or part-time. I'm part-time. So right now, each time somebody that I brought into the company sells something, I get 7%. And then when you die and those people are left behind that you sponsored into the company, just because they were lucky or younger or for whatever reason, if you sponsor 2 or 3 people into the company and you die, you can name a beneficiary to receive 5% of all of their income each time they sell something. So not only is it income for you while you're an agent, income for you when you're even working part-time, or income for your beneficiaries when you are no longer in the world, Exit offers that. It's fabulous. It's fabulous. It costs nothing. It's just part of what the Exit brand offers. The only cost to be part of Exit is $435 a year. That's it. No desk fees, no other fees, unless an Exit office that you might interview is different. There's one low fee every year to be part of Exit Realty. You can sponsor as many people as you want. You can sell as much as you want. And I didn't want to just talk about Exit, but that's a sponsoring that I'm familiar with.
Okay.
That makes sense? Did that answer your question?
Yes, that answers my question, in regards to passive income.
Okay.
Mhm.
What other questions might you have, Kimberly? Because I go awfully fast.
Is there any other passive income that you can think of, or is that
Well,
it?
well, that's it within this company, and most companies don't have passive income at all. The other
Mm.
ways to earn passive income, or what's labeled as passive income, are for you to, while you're in the real estate business, to not only sell real estate, but to buy real estate, buy investment properties. That's called passive income. The rent that you get each month, the income you earn from a rental property, from an investment property, that's considered passive income as well. And passive income is great because there's times where I haven't worked for a month or two, but I still have that passive income coming into me from those people who are working. And so there are people that I know in the exit organization who got sick, who had to have surgery and were out of the business for a few months. And that's bad. I mean, you can lose everything when you're sick, but because they had steady passive income, because they made sponsoring part of their business plan, which I strongly suggest if you're part of Exit, take advantage of this thing, bring people in, not only because it's good for you, but it's good for those people too, because it's a great company to work for. It's a good company, they give back, and it's a solid company that is built around great people. And you might get a good idea of that looking at the Achiever magazine if you text that number, okay? Or text that number in that message. Just Achiever to 85377. What else, Kimberly? Anything else you can think of?
No, I don't have any additional questions. Thank you.
So I have your email, and I will, as soon as I'm done tonight, I'll look up Montgomery County. What's the major city in Montgomery County?
Montgomery County, it's surrounding area, um,
What?
Bluebell, Flowertown, Elkins Park.
Okay. What town do you live in specifically?
Well, I live in New Jersey. I'm working
Okay.
on getting my real estate license in New Jersey as well.
Okay. Okay. So I'll send you some basic information about, you said Montgomery County. Did I get that right? Pennsylvania?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I'll send you some basic information. And what I want to send you is what the average home sells for. Because, and when I do that, I'm going to give you an idea of how much you'd have to sell in order to make the kind of income that you need to make and how much you want to make. So I'll tell you what the average is of every sale. So for instance, if the average sale in Montgomery County is $400,000, I have no idea what it is. Well, let's just say it's $400,000. Generally speaking, one side of a commission, there's always two sides. There's a listing side and a buyer side. But generally speaking, you'll get one side of that if you're working with a buyer or if you're working just the listing. And on a $400,000 transaction, the average gross commission is going to be about $12,000. So we can pretty much predict that if it's $12,000, if you get 70% of that, we can figure out how many transactions you have to sell to get to that number you want to get to. So I'll try to give you an idea of how that works. And I want you to know this. You've got my contact information, and I'll include more when I send this to you. Reach out to me anytime. I'll help you, because I know a lot of times you're all by yourself and you want to make the right decisions and the right choices. If I can help, use me as a resource. I would love to be able to help you in any way that I can. That
That
fair?
sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Sure, I'm the only one. Otherwise,
You
what would
are,
do?
you are. But I'm so glad you were here, and it gave us the ability to talk to one another, Kimberly. So thank you so much. We'll talk soon, huh?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.